in the wrong way. Just okay. You got in here quick. I've had this thing in the fridge for a couple months probably, and I just forgot it was there. Yeah. These things look like they're finally starting to slow down. See? Need to get this working. Oh, they finally stopped. Now, is it that they need to basically unwind the amount of times that they've turned? Is that what's going on here? That would make sense to me if that's the issue that I'm encountering. Fish says there's something with the switch. Oh, you caught a triggerfish. How is that? I haven't had triggerfish. What was its face? I was out in South Dakota on the Missouri River? Yeah, I think that's the Missouri River. Where was I? The Lewis and Clark Recreation Area. I was fishing out there, and I caught a decent size silver drum. It tastes like hard, like crab, huh? Yeah, I've never had that. But yeah, we caught a good sized silver drum, and we were fishing for dinner that night. So I got all excited because I was like, oh my god, this is, we're gonna eat good tonight. And then all of my family looked at me like, guess you've never had drum before? I was like, no, they're telling me it is one of the most rubbery fish you can catch and try to eat. They threw it back immediately. Like I said, it was a good couple pound, maybe like a 5-pound fish, so it wasn't a small fish. Ever tried bigger fish? Be very careful of the bones. They're sharp. Big, yes, crustaceans, crab, lobster. Yeah, I've helped prepare a tuna before. I think yellowfin? Yeah, yellowfin. Helped prepare yellowfin tuna before, and I remember the process of finding the pin bones. That was a pain in the ass. Oh my god, how long did that take? Maybe half an hour to do both fillets, because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. It took us a while. 5-foot barracuda. I've heard barracuda will fuck you. No, if you have anything shiny on you, you gotta be careful when you're down there, because I've heard they are monsters when they see anything shiny or that looks like a bait fish. I do not want to mess with a barracuda. Oops. Ouch. You did that. Didn't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, go over like that. Come back up like this. Want to do the same thing right here. Go over 2. Have I used up all of it, or is it crafting into it? Probably. Oh no, wait, that's weird. I have a ton of scrap metal that needs to be turned into tier 1 metal. That's right. Which that is just craft that. So the logic here remains that so long as there isn't too much in the way of them, or well, that's not the proper way to word it. So the concept here is that so long as this is on paper the weakest point in the structure, as in they can access it and it has the fewest amount of block hit points between them and the farm, they should attack this location, and then they'll get crushed by the arms. I just need to wait for these lower arms to stop, because I'm assuming they were running for a very long time. Yeah, you see, so I've seen needlefish before when I've gone to Florida, but only real tiny. Like when I say needlefish, I mean Maybe about that big. That's how tiny it was. Marlin I knew about. Any of the swordfish that have a bill, they've got a weapon attached to their face that can just go straight through you. There was, what was it? Maybe about a year ago, the dude who was on a boat and got impaled by a marlin that he caught, he passed away. I don't know if it was a marlin, a sailfish, or anything like that, but same idea. Any of those billed fish, yeah, you don't want to go near. Barracuda, I know, are pretty hyper aggressive, but I know people can still dive with them, so long as they don't have any jingly bits on them, it tends to be okay. Or not jingly bits, shiny bits. It's the shiny bits that they tell you to watch out for. And this thing's just still going. Needlefish, I don't know exactly what sort of threat needlefish pose, because I've seen a full-grown one. Hold on, I'm gonna pull them up on my left monitor. Yeah, no, that's understandable. Yeah, like, I guess if they get this large, they could do some serious damage, but I mean, yeah, that's a serious row of teeth, but it's still such a small, such a skinny mouth. Well, let's actually look it up. Are needlefish dangerous? Right there. Yeah. All right, now you see that right there is a danger, because if that thing lodges itself somewhere in, say, your neck, one bite and say goodbye to your hand. I don't know about that. Like, look at the size of that versus his hand. That fish is not going to be able to just take his hand off. What's the bite force of a needlefish? Like, yeah, this right here is what I think is the most dangerous part of a needlefish. I don't know, I haven't heard of anyone taking, I'll trust you on that, but again, I haven't heard of anyone taking serious injury from a needlefish bite. Like, you might get surface level wounds and maybe a little bit of like tendon damage from the teeth, but I think I've heard of people actually getting impaled by these things and then the bills breaking off inside the person. I feel like I've heard a story about that on, it might have been River Monsters when he did the open ocean season. Now, one thing I'm scared of is a Goliath grouper. I hooked onto something when I was down in Florida recently, and when I tell you, like, the rod went straight down and then the line just snapped, it was a big fish, whatever it was. How does a bone break off a fish? At the tendon, same way that you can break off a human finger. It only takes the force of a carrot to bite off a human's finger. I can tell you right now, it don't take that much. Bones are not as strong as people think they are. We make them out as some, like, be-all, end-all, incredible thing of strength, which some of them are. You've never broken a bone. Yeah, I've broken a couple. I will tell you, it doesn't take all that much to snap some of them. Clean break on, this wasn't mine, but my cousin's. Clean break because he was trying to do the downwards dog. Lost his hand for a second. So he went down. He was catching himself as he went down. So it wasn't like he fully fell, broke his collarbone. One of my other cousins, someone ran into them, broke their collarbone. Me, I fell backwards. So not even onto my collarbone directly. I had my shoulder blade and all that behind me. I broke my collarbone. All of them, just clean breaks, straight down. RIP to the 2 triggerfish. Man, you get that feeling sometimes when you're catching, not just catch and release, and you're like, I gotta actually go through with this. I've done that before to bait fish, where you're like, man, this dude was just chilling before I came along. This could have been the like greatest fish of the species to ever live, and here he is, just about to be turned into bait. Now, one thing I tried, I almost had, which was disappointing, was some type of gar. This was when I'm in Florida. I do. Normally we stay on water, so I have access to both freshwater and saltwater, obviously. But I take a boat out to one of the harbors on the Gulf side. Yeah, onto the Gulf side of Florida. Mind you, there's some big ass sharks in those waters. Floridians are scary. Oh yeah. They don't give a shit. Have you seen the lake about, what is it? Is it 20 miles or is it 20 minutes north of Orlando? That has like 10,000 alligators in it. And apparently during hurricane season, people report the alligators getting lifted out of the lake. Just flat out Sharknado style. They get lifted up and tossed into people's backyards.